Welcome to this episode of Mathlete Mondays. I'm Mike Metzger, president of Focal Revenue Solutions. And whether you're a data nerd like me, a fierce competitor, 1001, 1002, or a little bit of both, I'm here today to help you unlock the insights you need for the week ahead in order to outrun your competition and take your hotel's revenue optimization efforts to the next level without breaking a sweat. This week, we're going to talk about the number 2 and the number 3 things that I wish I had known before embarking on a career in revenue optimization. Now, if you missed the first episode, you can find it at focalrevenue.com/content. Now, the number 3 thing that I wish I had known prior to entering revenue management is that it's important to cultivate divergent thinking. Over the past 3 years, Airbnb has grown by 211%, Expedia and Booking Holdings have grown by 50%, inflation has actually grown by 8%, and hotel revenues, they've grown by just 6%. Now, despite the fact that we, as an industry, are getting our ass kicked, we continue to look internally to determine how to better compete. Now, it's a bit like learning how to be a world champion sprinter from the best person on your high school track team. You might get a little bit better, but the pros are still going to smoke you. The travel industry has evolved considerably over the past several years, and the rate of change is only going to continue to accelerate. The revenue optimization leaders of tomorrow will possess the ability to read the tea leaves and cultivate divergent thinking within the organization. Those that are the most successful in driving change apply the following tactics. First, they test new ideas and divergent concepts against the status quo before implementing them more broadly. They're expert A/B testers, and they're focused on limiting risk and documenting results in an unbiased manner in order to either confirm or disprove their theories. Now, once they've tested new strategies and proven them to be successful, they remain resolute in their efforts to convince those around them that change is needed, oftentimes in the face of resistance from those that are in more senior positions than them. Now, this is where the art of inception comes into play. Rather than trying to convince everyone that you're right, those that are the most effective at driving change often find a way to lay down a trail of breadcrumbs, allowing their leadership teams to come to the right conclusion about what's needed on their own. Now, those that are effective at driving change are also constantly on guard to ensure that they don't become too insular. Oftentimes in the hotel industry, we look at the way that hotels price, hotels market, and hotels sell. However, if you look at the rest of the world, it continues to move at a much quicker pace. Now, think about Airbnb, Amazon, and Netflix. Each business has become more and more successful by adapting to changing customer buying behaviors and tailoring individualized offering to each customer. Now, as you continue in your careers, I'd recommend keeping an eye on other industries to see how they're producing their success. This does, however, need to be balanced out with building deep hospitality subject matter expertise, as you need to know the rules before you can break the rules. And number 2, it's hard to be successful without the right tools. Leveraging the right technology stack is perhaps the single biggest determinant for success that I've seen throughout my time in the industry. Now, despite this fact, the state of hospitality tech for revenue managers typically runs the gamut from god-awful to decent due to a couple of critical factors. The first is that historically the hospitality industry has not done a great job of attracting technology professionals. Why would you jump into hospitality as an IT support tech where you make $50K per year when you can learn how to code and make $100,000 in your first job out of school? While hospitality IT professionals often have a robust support skill set, they're usually focused on managing legacy on-premise servers and resetting logins rather than architecting technology and developing new applications. Even those that have started hospitality technology companies often base their platforms on white-labeled third-party technology such as SSRS or Tableau. Now, this often results in a lack of flexibility and customization. Fortunately, new technology solutions are emerging that have been purpose-built for hospitality using a customized code base. Now, the second factor is that many property management systems are built on legacy architecture, which has made it very challenging to extract the data necessary to support downstream applications such as RMS, BI, and CRM systems. This is starting to change as major PMS vendors deploy their cloud orgs, but quite frankly, it's moving too slow, and relatively few are moving forward with a pure-play API approach. Now, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the next few years, as there are several new PMS providers, such as Stay in Touch, that are hanging their hat on ease of integration. The third factor is that hoteliers haven't always done a great job of articulating the benefits of an improved technology stack. Oftentimes, when pitching new investments in technology, we focus on the time it'll save us or how much easier it'll make our lives. I'm not saying that our owners don't care about our job satisfaction, but we'll have much more success when framing the benefits around improved financial performance, which we'll be able to achieve as a result of any new systems under consideration. One of the most important things that you can do throughout your career is to ensure that you have a strong understanding of the various components used in the Revenue Manager's technology stack. Not only do you need to understand how each system works, but you also need to understand how it interacts with the other systems within the hospitality tech ecosystem. Otherwise, you may end up with a Frankenstein stack with systems that don't speak to each other. Now finally, you've got to brush up on your persuasion skills, as all this knowledge doesn't really help you if you can't actually gain investment. And thank you for joining me for this week's Mathlete Monday episode. You'll have to wait for the next episode for the final lesson, but I can promise you that it'll be worth it. Now if you enjoyed this week's episode, please share it with your colleagues and friends. For more Mathlete Monday episodes, head over to focalrevenue.com/content, where you'll find a link to subscribe to future updates. As a bonus, when you sign up, I'll add you to our monthly digest containing links to the top revenue optimization articles and white papers, which we've curated specifically for Focal's fan base. Now thank you for joining me, and until next time, good luck out running the competition.